Major counterattack against Liv. What the heck's going on here?
It is the first major counterattack, and it isn't from Jay Monahan. Not that that surprises us. Where is this coming from, Darkstar?
Well, first of all, I like the fact that Jay, you mentioned Jay, because he did have to rubber stamp this. It was approved by the PGA. They're saying that everywhere.
Approved, yeah. Kicking and screaming, perhaps.
Yeah.
Did they have a choice? No.
No.
There was no choice. Jay, you will sign this confession or we'll shoot you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. So what is this all about? Let me take a stab at it. Then
yeah, go ahead. Fire away.
Back and forth a little bit. So Monday, today's Wednesday, August 24th. Okay. We're in the silly last piece of the FedEx Cup, right? Eastlake Tour Championship. So the guys, the players, the top players in the world got together last week on Tuesday at the BMW in Delaware and had a player-only meeting. Tiger flew in, Ricky Flowers on the plane. We talked about that a little bit. You guys probably saw that out there in our audience. Monday, 5 days later, 6 days later, a story comes out from Golf Digest that Tiger, Rory, and some big hitter sports TV guys are launching a whole new venture. A whole new venture. Wow, amazing how that popped up, right now.
Not a venture.
Go ahead. What were you say, Darkstar?
Well, not a venture. Tiger and Rory announced a tech-forward league. Let me emphasize league. So a new league, which obviously has to be approved by the PGA Tour, and I've seen a couple quotes, they'll be playing for a boatload of cash. Wow, that sounds unique. We've never heard that before. Sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly. So what the heck is this thing? I find the timing fascinating. Of course, it's all well scripted. So Monday, the story breaks. Tuesday, yesterday, there's a press release from this new venture, which is called Tomorrow Sports, TMRW Sports. Clever name. I like it. With Tiger and Rory, the figurehead leaders, and the CEO is this gentleman named Mike McIlroy, longtime veteran of NBC Sports, president of the Golf Channel and NBC Golf Productions, I guess, for 10 years, I think. Not that that's terribly important, but for a while. So this Mike McIlroy is a real player, and backed up by Dick Ebersol, who's a real player in televised sports for many, many, many years. So these guys are serious professionals. Yeah. And I'm looking at a picture here, Darkstar. We'll put it up. The logo, TMRW Sports. Beautiful. So that wasn't just whipped up, last week on PowerPoint.
No, these are the kind of things that have been in the works that the players have been thinking about for a long time. And I'm going to jump ahead here and just say, this is what Phil has been thinking about and preaching about, the players having some control. And these guys should be thanking, they can never thank Phil and Greg enough for giving them this opportunity. And to take a stab at what's going on, it sounds like they want to have a prime time, say a Monday night, like a Monday night football event, where it's only going to be a couple hours. So these guys are going to show up for a couple hours on a Monday night. They're going to play in, for lack of a better term, they're going to play in a golf, not golf tech, but that type of environment. And talk about going from 72 holes to 54 holes. Now you're going from 54 holes to a little 2-hour bowling event. So
it sounds like the first foray into product will be a skills challenge. That's sort of what I'm reading between the lines. And we're just seeing this right now, audience. So reacting to the news, we'll go deeper and get more things correct as more comes out. But it sounds like January of 2024, well into the future. So who knows what the product will look like eventually. But they're making this announcement now. That's an interesting thing I'm going to circle back to real quick here. But it could be, exactly what Darkstar just said, right? It's what's the Top-Golf. So it could be like a Top-Golf venue, long drive championship setup where you got lights, you got something downrange, and these guys are trying to hit golf balls at a clown with a water fountain coming out of its head.
And the other thing is someone like Tiger, who Tiger can participate in this if he's just, you know, standing there hitting off the same mat. How about that?
Yeah,
That's
that
something
is
interesting.
an outstanding point, Dark Star.
Yeah.
You get a cotton candy for that.
Thank you.
That is. Well, Tiger. A quick aside. Tiger is the most selfless person that's ever played professional sport. 100%
We're going to get a lot of bad. We're going to get a lot of bad comments on
other player.
You're anti-Tiger. We're going to get a lot of bad comments.
You know what? I don't care one way or the other about Tiger Woods. If he called me up and said, "Let's go have a beer," I'd be there. But
Absolutely.
It's not like we've played sports. This is that guy. This is the guy that's for himself.
Well,
now, it's an individual sport. That's fine. But this is not the guy you call up and when he's in his prime and say, "Hey, look, I need some help." Tiger, he's not taking your call. It's not that he's not going to give you help. He's inaccessible. He's going to the golf course, doing his thing, leaving the golf course, and you're not seeing him for any other. Jack Nicklaus famously said not long ago, we could go dig up the tape because it's on tape somewhere, "I don't really know Tiger. He's not, we've talked a couple of times, but I don't really know him."
And that's why Tiger and Rory make the perfect combination. They're Martin and Lewis. I mean, and we know who's who.
They got a real relationship there of some kind. But it's a story for another day. So this Tomorrow Sports thing, fascinating counterattack. Okay, so what do we think has happened here? I'll take a stab at it, then right back to you, Dark Star.
Okay.
So the players have this 2 meetings. They got the first little player confab at the JP McManus July 5th or 6th, just a month and a half ago. Then they have another players only meeting last week. The Tiger flies up with Ricky Fowler in tow. And apparently now we know that maybe the only topic of any great substance was, well, A, we got to do something about Jay screwing this whole thing up. He's ruining our business, essentially. And what are we going to do? Because we don't want to lose any more players. Okay, here's what we're doing. We are going to create our own golf company, and we're going to own it. And because if we threaten to leave or not stick up for the PGA Tour just unravels. So we have them. They have to do as we tell them to do. So the tables are totally turned. Thanks, Liv. Thanks, Phil. So we have this thing in the can. We've been working with this guy, Mark McCarley. You all know Mike. He's a great guy. Mike, he quit the Golf Channel last year. Yeah. That's interesting timing. Well, really, a year ago. And this thing has been in development for 2 years, says Rory. And it looks to me from the polish and, that it's probably right. Maybe the last 12 months in earnest with Mike putting it together and waiting for whatever they're waiting for. Now Liv comes in and it drops this phenomenal opportunity on them where they could strong arm the PGA Tour into what, Dark Star? What does the PGA Tour have to give them for this thing to really work?
Well, everything they want. This is an ultimatum. We're out of here. And
permission to play? Is that what they need?
Well, they needed the permission to play in another league, form another league.
Permission to play.
The permission to play. Who wants permission to play? That's interesting.
Then the PGA Tour instinctively would say, "Screw you.
Yeah,
we are the tour. You can't go start your own company."
Right. When this was hatched 2 years ago. When this was hatched 2 years ago, the PGA Tour would have said, "You're kidding, right? Because we have exclusive rights to you guys in our league and all that."
I have to imagine that Tiger being Tiger and Rory being Rory and their prominence have been having friendly conversations with Jay all along, because this thing doesn't work without the PGA Tour cooperating. So probably it just guessing now. But based on experience in business. So they're saying to the PGA Tour, "Hey, you get to own 50% of this thing. The players will own 20%. We'll divvy that up. It's just like a company. It's a startup. So we'll keep 20% reserved of the stock for various important players that come on. We, Tiger, Rory, Mike, we're going to own 25% of it or 30, and that's how it's going to shape up. So done. And maybe we retain voting control, Mike, Tiger, Rory, some small group of people, not the PGA Tour. But the PGA Tour has a huge piece of the equity. That's the original concept before Liv. Now Liv comes along, and the game has changed. Now PGA Tour, you get, how's 10% sound? And the PGA Tour says, that 10%? What happened to our 50%? No, 10% sucks. Yeah, well, you're not in a position to say anything. In fact, go sit in the corner of the room. We'll try to let you know when we commandeer your men.
When we commandeer your men, we'll try and let you know.
This is the players saying nothing short of, we have started our own golf company. And you, the PGA Tour, you're going to own some of it, not as much as you were, but some of it. And you are going to let anybody that we choose to come over and play within our little Tomorrow Sports events, you're going to let them do that. You are going to grant them carte blanche permission to do that, and we will pick the players, not you, and you will automatically let them. And that's going to be the deal, period, end of story. And you go, and they have to, or else we're all leaving. We're all going. Right. It's over. The party's over.
Right.
And what does that mean? That means that the players now own their own super tour, so to speak. But it's not going to be a golf tour. The fish they throw back to the PGA Tour is, look, we're not going to go stage 4-day events. We're not doing that. These are, Top Golf, Under the Lights, Long Drive Champion. It's not really that, but that's the venue. It's skills challenge. There's going to be gambling. Can you hit the clown? Can you hit the rowboat? That kind of thing.
It accomplishes two things. So the two things it accomplishes, one, it creates a format where the younger generation may get involved and enjoy watching, whether it's through, as you like to say, the gambling websites, or it's just that artificial, technology-driven aspect. And the second thing is, well, for all the old people that want to see the Rorys and everybody else, you're going to get to at least for 2 hours a week, January through August, see the top players. Well, it's
the fish they're throwing back to the PGA Tour. The fish they're throwing back to the PGA Tour. In partially, they don't have to throw anything, but they're going to have a real partnership. It's got to be scalable, meaning it's got to last for years. What's the fish that the PGA Tour needed in order to feel okay about it? We won't. Two things. We won't design a product that competes directly with your product, meaning these aren't 4-day tournaments. It's nothing like that. This isn't tournament golf. This is a skills challenge. Okay, fine. And we're going to do it when not your tournaments are happening. So your prime events, we're not going to be anywhere near them unless you want us to be as a lead-in to create excitement and hype before your, whatever, Players Championship or Memorial or Arnold Palmer Invitational. If you want us to run one of our episodes that we shot 2 weeks ago, well, actually, they've said they're going to do it live. But who knows? Mike McCarley's a smart guy, probably, based on his resume. They're going to come up with a formula that really works in conjunction. So PGA is going to be able to sell this back to their board and say, look, it's going to help us. I mean, it promotes our events, blah, blah, blah. But mostly the players are going to stick around and not leave. And they get to own their own golf company and make $1 gazillion, presumably.
And once again, they get to play in teams. So you get to, just like in the live, the teams are sort of already picked. They're going to be, the friends are going to play with their friends, and you're going to compete against the other teams. And that's where the fun comes in for the players, and it creates a better atmosphere for viewership. Absolutely.
Yeah, potentially. Well, if you got to figure McCarley is not creating something for the same audience. Well, who knows? I don't know. Maybe he's creating something that the same audience that watches PGA Tour events is going to watch. They're happy to get some piggyback on that, but I have to believe he's probably angling towards a younger demographic to expand it. And why not? So this sounds like, you tell me, Darkstar, the product sounds like potentially, it's not just going to be one product, first of all. This is a company that they own. They're going to expand and do lots of things. And sure, gambling is going to be part of it. Of course it is. But it sounds like you took a Top Golf facility, a Long Drive Championship, and a mini golf that everybody's played at once, at least a few times if you have kids particularly. You take those three things and you shake them up and out comes something. This looks like that, kind of, whether it's a one-night event for 2 hours, like a bowling thing, or it's a daytime thing, or who knows. But there's a lot of sex appeal around a Long Drive Championship. There seems to be a fairly decent uptake on Top Golf. They're building more of them. You can have a beer and hit golf balls at a target. Great. Sounds like bowling.
Sure.
Why not do that?
I could see,
clever.
And let's be honest, all those PGA players live in Orlando. I could see what used to be an ESPN Sport Zone type product. You're going to have your own building, your own facility. Maybe, you get to go there in the stands, be up close and personal with the players. As great a game as golf is to watch on television when it's done correctly, it's a challenge to go there. You're going to walk around with one player, that kind of thing. So now you're in the stands and you got 10, 15 guys that you're seeing every one of their shots, every one of their plays. Yeah, like you said, you might literally have a computer in front of you. It's like going to the racetrack. You might have a computer in front of you. There might be a race every 10 minutes to bet on or something. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. It's got to have a gambling angle to it. That's another show. I feel strongly about the gambling angle for Live and what their investment from the Saudis turns into. Different show. We'll do that. We haven't done it yet, but we'll do it. I think this is maybe a brilliant move by Tiger and Rory. Really, it's and the players that they're dragging along. Potentially, it could be brilliant. It's if it scales, meaning if this thing has legs and it really happens, it really changes professional golf in America in a material way. So if this comes true and it works, meaning people watch and it's popular, well, popular is what matters. So in that world where this Tomorrow Sports thing is popular 2 years from now, what's the PGA Tour? What's the PGA Super Tour? Second to this. This would be first. That would be second. The majors would be first or second, depending on who's, what the venue is and all that stuff. And then everything else is minor league. So the regular PGA Tour, the Rocket Mortgage, the 3M, those are just AAA baseball.
I wish they would just go away and they'd have 15 big events.
It's a feeder tour, right? It is going away. Do you watch the Korn Ferry? Not too many people do.
Not too many people.
It's fun to go there and see tomorrow's players because they're damn good. It's like going to AAA baseball. Yeah. It's awesome if you're a fanatical fan.
It's ironic that Tiger and Rory will be the Jack and Arnie of 50 years ago, and 50 years from now, after the players are running everything, because the PGA Tour will cease to exist at some point, hopefully, we can only hope, then the players are running things, and it does work better.
You know what?
Who knows what'll happen?
Let's break some news. Well, not news. Let's say something speculative that could come true. Okay? We'll say it here maybe first. The PGA Tour, quote unquote, has died. It's dead. And I'm including the Super Tour. The PGA Tour, the nonprofit organization that's existed for 54 years, incredibly ironic because that's Liv's number, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just coincidental, but man, that's really odd. Yeah. So the PGA Tour, Super Tour, the whole thing is dead. It's gone. It just hasn't gone yet. But why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because in 1968, the PGA of America, as the entity that conducted pro golf tournaments, ceased to exist.
Yeah.
That all they had left was their PGA Championship and the Ryder Cup.
So hopefully in 2024, it will cease to exist, and they will come up with something better. Anything's going to be better.
Well, this is what it is. This you make the point that Tiger and Rory are the Jack and Arnie. Okay, fine. Let's run with that analogy.
But first of all, I think it's ironic. We have to throw this in here. It was really set up by Phil and Greg.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Absolutely.
That's
with
why
that angle. We'll finish today's show with that.
They're not
with
Jack
that
and
angle.
Arnie. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. So, Tiger and Rory are Jack and Arnie. If that's true, for now, then what they have potentially succeeded in creating is the new Pro Golf Tour. The new Pro Golf Tour. Right. So it starts out with these non-tournament events, skills challenge, and then it evolves into tournament golf as the PGA Tour disappears.
Right. And it would be great if they then somehow merge with Liv and all the players get back together and they have a real
who knows what would happen then, but let's walk through what that theory that we're throwing out there means. So the players would own the Pro Golf Tour, not some board that doesn't work that way now. They're independent contractors. They don't have an equity stake in the PGA Tour. I don't know why Jack and Arnie set it up that way, but that's what it is. And this thing, Tomorrow Sports, why not? Why couldn't it be the new American Pro Golf Tour in 10 years or 5 years? That's what Jack and Arnie pulled off. And how did they do that, Dark Star? How did they pull it off, really? Essentially, one ingredient is all they needed to make it work. They needed the players.
Yeah.
They just needed a union of players that said, yeah, we're going that way. If enough guys say, no, we're going to go play at Tomorrow Sports, then the PGA Tour is over. And that's what LIV has done, but the PGA Tour has one ace in the hole, and that's their relationship with the majors. But do Tiger and Rory have a better relationship with the majors than does the PGA Tour as a diminished PGA Tour? I don't know. What say you?
Yeah, I do not see it quite the way you do. I still think this is still more of a nighttime spectacular, a fun event. I think they're still going to be gearing up for those Super Tour events. I don't know how. It almost forces the PGA Tour to merge with LIV to fend off the Rory, Tiger, Tomorrow Sports. I don't know. I'm really
it could go any different
intrigued. It could go a million different ways.
Yeah, this chaos theory. I mean, they don't know either.
Right.
They have a goal, but they don't.
Just to be in somewhat of a disagreement with you, I still think the Super Tour has a lot more legs. If they ever get all the players back together, that's what they would have to do. You know, I don't see Tiger's not the personality to sit down with Phil and say, hey, here's what we need to do next.
Tiger's not a corporate leader because he's too narcissistic. He can't empathize with anybody.
We're going to get more Tiger hate mail. You got to stop dissing on Tiger.
I'm not. That's a fact. Why do I say this? Facts. Facts. I don't care one way or another about Tiger Woods. But to be a leader, I use combat as usually as a stand-in, but you have to motivate the troops to reach a common objective for their own reasons. That is very hard to do. I've often said in business, one of the hardest jobs in the whole world is managing McDonald's. This is not easy. What do you think Tiger Woods would do if given a McDonald's to manage? I know what he would do. He would yell at all the employees. He would, tell them what to do, and they would tell him to go screw off. Yeah, and they'd leave. They'd walk off. They would do a half-assed job.
As soon as he turned his back, the productivity would get worse. Yes,
he has no ability or interest in motivating anybody outside of himself. Fine. Okay. The world needs that. Fine. He's that guy. You know. Fine. I don't care one way or another. But that's who he is. So he's not the guy to run this thing. Maybe McCarty, I keep his pictures right here in front of me. Maybe he's the guy to do that, or maybe somebody else. It doesn't matter. But let me bring you back in the fold, and then we'll start to wrap up for today. I'll bring you back in, Dark Star. Ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm going to try.
Like so, supernova, go.
If Tomorrow Sports becomes the new Pro Golf Tour, here's how I see that playing out. This is the first pass at this, so I'm doing it live. Sorry if it doesn't make sense in the end. Tiger's interested in his legacy because we know one thing about Tiger. He's interested in Tiger. First, second, and third. Go ask his ex-wife. Okay? So he's interested in his 81 tournament wins, if that's what it is, or 82. Is it 81 or 82, Dark Star?
I think he's one behind Snead still, if I had to
So he's 81. So he wants that. And
he's tied
his
with
second best majors ever behind Jack. So the PGA Tour going away in name is not in his interest. So he wouldn't do that. But he can go away in effect. So how would that happen? So Tomorrow Sports buys it or merges with it, and then they run it. And it's already been widely rumored that the PGA Tour is thinking about changing itself into a for-profit corporation and not a nonprofit. That would mean it would have shareholders. They could then divvy out stock options and equity to the players based on certain merits, just like a company would. If you do this, you get more stock options. If you're the vice president or the president or the CEO, blah, 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 right? So they could do that. And then Tomorrow Sports could own big-time chunk of it, whatever. It doesn't matter what they call it. They could call it the PGA Tour for the next 50, 100 years, but it would be run and owned by the players. Yeah, literally, not this player advisory board.
Right.
And would not Tiger like to be the owner of the PGA Tour? Yes, he would. Yeah. Yes, he would.
It's going to be, well, unfortunately, they should have been given revenue. The players should have had revenue sharing and a base salary a few years ago. And so now the toothpaste is out of the tube. It doesn't go back in the tube. So is there a merger? Boy, I think it's almost the lesser. When you put it in that perspective, I'm going to disagree and say the lesser of two evils is for the PGA Tour to become a for-profit organization and merge with LIV or merge with some of these other tours.
Now, who's the anti-Tiger guy in the room, Darkstar?
You're
reacting to me saying Tiger's going to own the PGA Tour.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not being anti-Tiger. I'm saying that's more.
Well,
that'd
be a fair.
That would be. I would rather that would be a better business move to merge two tours with the top players than to merge with a little tech company or whatever the heck they are.
Well,
you're going to merge Top Golf with the PGA Tour? No.
Well, Jack and Arnie led the players. Jack and Arnie led the players away from the PGA of America because they were Jack and Arnie.
Yeah.
Tiger and Rory are trying to do that. Then they're succeeding, it looks like, at least initially.
In Jack and Arnie's day, club pros were making more than the touring pros. That's a big difference.
Well, they were getting a lot of the money. That was the problem. But let me say this. You give me your honest reaction, Dark Stars. I know you always do. And audience, please comment. Tiger Woods would love to own the PGA Tour. True or false?
That's true as the day is long.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine something that I could, well, I could actually, short of granting Tiger 4 more major wins to take that title away from Jack. Short of that, what's the only other thing that would get Tiger to jump up and down and do backflips? You are now the CEO, an owner, and controlling person in of the PGA Tour.
I agree, but
be like, that's fantastic. And
that's fantastic.
So I don't think Tiger's in tomorrow's sports for a hit and giggle, Top Golf, make a couple. Tiger doesn't need any money. Okay, let me get you on this one too, Darkstar. I love it when you make me think. Tiger doesn't need any money. True?
That's true.
True.
Also true.
He doesn't need any. Would it be nice? Absolutely, it'd be nice. Does he need it? No. So he doesn't need money. And he is self-centered, meaning it's all about Tiger.
Right.
Fine.
Okay.
Also fine, but that's him. He's a piranha. Fine. All good. So why does a piranha start this business, Tomorrow Sports? What's in it for Tiger?
Well, like I said, it's control, power, money.
Control. So control, power, running the PGA Tour, running pro golf. That's what I think. Now, so I freely admit that's total speculation, and I could be 100% wrong. And the other end of the spectrum would be Tiger's doing this to help everybody else, not him. Right.
I'm gonna just throw this out before we leave. We have not talked about the smartest man in the room, Jordan Spieth. I don't see
silent as the grave.
I don't see.
I'm going to start calling him that. Silent as the grave, Spieth.
Yeah, we didn't get. Yeah, anyway, we didn't get to talk about him disqualifying himself on purpose at the JP.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the ways he became stayed and kept his silence was, in my opinion, he purposely disqualified himself from the JP McManus. He's talking to his agent. I really don't want to comment on this live. I want to keep things to myself. Well, do something outrageous so they can't talk about live.
So your speculation is?
My speculation is he picked up his ball on purpose. Oh my gosh, this is a perfect opportunity.
No. What Spieth and live? The reason he did it was live. What's the deeper?
The deeper aspect is of course he was in deep negotiations with him. Why wouldn't he be? If DJ got $120 million, he's going to command more than Phil. He's in the $250 million range there. And
I think he'd be the top guy for Liv to get.
Yeah, and I don't care who you are. And when Jordan Spieth is in these closed door meetings, I guarantee you his mouth is working. Okay, and does he want to secede power to Tiger? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Well,
within basically the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour fraction the players into the favorite sons and the non-favorite sons, and within that room you have people who think they're smart enough to run it, and the Tiger clique, and that's my point.
Yes, I agree with all that. Is Jordan Spieth I think I threw it out there maybe a month ago, could be the most powerful man in golf right now as a player, and the most powerful player in golf.
Powerful
Why?
player, yes.
Because he's the #1 pickoff for the live guys. If they pick off Spieth, that just changes everything. Why? Because Spieth is so well liked by fans of all ages that just sends the huge message. It's sort of all the older demographic that really loves the tradition of the PGA Tour and the players and the dignity and the respect and the honor of the game that goes back a couple hundred years ago, and you call penalties on yourself and all the great things about golf. Spieth sort of represents that. So if he goes to live, it kind of takes away the argument that the live guys are all scumbags.
Yeah.
It puts a really nice halo all over them. And Spieth probably doesn't want to go there because he's interested in one thing. He has plenty of money, winning the PGA Tour, completing the Grand Slam, the career slam.
Yeah.
And he's not going to risk that by going to live.
And all and all he does is,
and his exemptions expired, right? You told me that.
Yeah, he won the British in 17. So with COVID, he's maybe got one more complete year of exemption. So he's not going for that reason.
He needs OWGR points.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to. The other thing is, this is the perfect format for Spieth because he has the chip. He's an unbelievable chipper, putter, whatever. He's going to be a star in a little technology-driven event like this.
Oh, are you saying the skills challenge?
The skills challenge. So he's going to make a lot more money. He's going to be a great skills challenge player. And now he only has to play in 12, 15 events. Remember, a few years ago, he should have got suspended for a year because he didn't play in the prerequisite number of tournaments because he didn't make the finals. Yeah. So
it's just fascinating to me. Maybe it doesn't come true. We got to get out. I got to get out.
I know. We got 17 episodes. We just
Tiger. Tiger, I think if he were being honest, which he, like any business, all warfare is based on deception.
Yeah.
Just a fact. You may not like that, but that's how it works. So is he being deceptive in his ambitions? I don't know. I have no idea of knowing. But given his track record, he's about winning majors, not about helping the other guy.
Well, and you wonder in this, like I said, little venture with Rory, did he just say, oh my gosh, Phil's going to go and Greg's going to start this, and that's going to open the door for me to tell the PGA Tour exactly what I want to do, and they will have no choice.
I think, and this is my final comment, I think when Tiger's on the back of his boat with a margarita, a year from now, if this is really working, this Tomorrow Sports, he's probably thinking two things, and it ain't money. Money's not even on the list for him. He's thinking, I get to run the PGA Tour, and that's awesome. And the next thing he's thinking is, and I sure did screw Phil.
Yeah. And Greg. No. He hates Greg just as much.
Yeah, Greg too. Throw Greg in for good measure.
All right.
I sure did screw those guys.
Now, I will say this, my last comment, I think the money matters because he's competing against Jordan with money. So let's not, he still wants some money. He'd like to pass up Michael Jordan.
Yeah, well, hey, the money's nice. Well, again, we can't skip over the priorities. Now I do have to get out. The money's nice, but if you said to Tiger, hey, Tiger, I'll give you $500 million. Well, Liv already did it. I'll give you, let's say that's all true. I'll give you $1 billion, Tiger, $1 billion, to go away, to just go away. Get on your boat, and your contract for that $1 billion, because we're going to give it to you in tranches, is going to be you can't make any other public appearances ever again in your life.
Yeah. Well, that's not.
No, he's not going to agree to that.
He's not going to agree to that.
Right.
Sure. No.
So he does not have a price tag on the things that are really important to him personally. Winning 3 more majors, there's no price on that. None. It's priceless. He would do it for any amount of money. He wouldn't kill his children to do that, but there ain't many things in life that Tiger wouldn't do to win 3 more majors. Very precious few. Money has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with his legacy. It has nothing to do with him being in control of the PGA Tour, which is his legacy. Priceless. All things can't be purchased by him. Money is never in the top 3 in reality for people. It's only if those big 3 things are accomplished and in the book that the money then can be focused upon. But it ain't that. It ain't that.
Well, my only and my last comment is my only point about money is the only person he's competing with his money is probably Jordan. Therefore, yes, money doesn't matter. I'm not saying, yeah, he would certainly not give up any of those potential successes for money.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes. All right. I am out of here, and we got to follow up quickly on this story.
Right. Dr. Darkstar is out.